basically boil down to what is being done to compel state lawmakers to fully fund Proposition 36 and prioritize citizen safety over political donors and party control. Let's start with the District Attorney, Nathan Hochman.
I like the concept of compelling a state legislature. That would be great. Back to my having that omnipresent and omnipowerful abilities to compel a state legislature. The answer is they have failed in actually properly financing Proposition 36. Why? Because they actually opposed Proposition 36 in the state capitol. They tried to pass some their own laws that were, they made a small difference, but weren't going to make a big difference. And then when Proposition 36 did pass, and the District Attorneys Association, the Sheriff's Association, a lot of mayors from across cities in California came to them and said, look, we need about $400 million statewide to actually go ahead and create the facilities to deal with the people who need this drug treatment, to deal with the homeless that were part and targeted as part of Proposition 36. The governor snubbed it, and the state legislature snubbed it. So we're going to keep asking for that money over and over again. But in the meantime, we're going to do our job. We're going to show them that Proposition 36 really is making a difference on the chronic thieves and the repeat illegal drug users. Because again, what is the alternative? And let's focus for a second. We haven't done much on illegal drug users. But if you don't know someone or a family that has had someone in their family die from a fentanyl overdose, it's growing at an exponential level. 2 becomes 4, becomes 8, becomes 16, becomes 32. I'll guarantee you in the next 4 years, you absolutely will. It is spreading that rapidly. In 2017, fentanyl had not hit the West Coast. Right now, it's the leading killer of 18 to 40-year-olds. So, my point to you is that if we want to actually do something with the chronic illegal drug users, if I don't know what the state's thinking, leave them on the street and just let them die. At some point, the fire department, which is often the department that responds when they have one of these overdoses, can't get there fast enough with the Narcan to save their lives, and the fire departments in certain areas are even running out of Narcan because they're having to not put out fires. They're having to basically resuscitate people who've overdosed from fentanyl, and sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So again, I think we need to, and I mean this is the royal we, this community. Let me start with this community. If actually being compassionate for people with the drug situation means anything to you, the state legislatures, your state legislator needs to hear from you over and over and over again. I take this message everywhere I go. By the way, it's my public service announcement, because we're marrying the enforcement effort with a massive education effort, targeted quite candidly at middle and high school kids. Because middle and high school kids think, okay, it's cool, let's go get an Oxycontin on Snapchat tonight. 7 out of 10 Oxycontins that you're going to get on Snapchat tonight have a lethal dose of fentanyl. That's true of Adderall, Xanax, Percocet, stuff that you're not getting from a real prescription from a real pharmacy. And it affects families all over the place. So take this message back to your kids, take it back to parents, take it back to your schools, and say we got to tell these kids that it's the one pill can kill program, and it's absolutely real.
Thank you, Mr. Hochman. Let me ask the sheriff now the next question that's come in. Does Prop 36 impact juveniles committing the smash and grabs and other crimes that we're seeing out there?
There are definitely juveniles that are committing retail theft, these smash and grabs, and I think the DA covered this earlier. I'm very confident that when my deputies arrest and investigate and bring good cases to the DA's office, they're going to get the appropriate filings.
Any comment on that, sir?
And I would add again, if some 16-year-old doesn't have a record, goes ahead and steals just under $950, A, it's not gonna be a Proposition 36 case. And B, we can't pretend they didn't steal. And that's what was happening before. Basically, the DA's office said we're not gonna prosecute, law enforcement wouldn't bring the case in because they know they're wasting their time. Store owners wouldn't even report it. So now we've changed that sort of direction. You tell store owners report it. You tell the law enforcement officers, go ahead and bring those cases in. And if they are juveniles, they'll go through the juvenile justice system, which is where they belong. But that system very often will give them diversion, but they're gonna have to meet with a police officer. They're gonna have to meet with a district attorney often, they'll have to meet with a judge. And hopefully, going through that system, especially if they don't have a record, will be enough of a wake-up call for them, and they won't go, they'll understand there's consequences for your actions, and they won't do it in the future. The flip side is that if there are no consequences for just stealing at a low level, then why do you think there'll be consequences if you steal at a little bit higher level? So you steal a couple $100 from a 7-Eleven, go do a smash and grab at a jewelry store. What's the difference? Why are there now consequences for this? Keep going. It's a horrible message to send to young people that you can go ahead and violate society's laws with no consequences. We'll figure out the right punishment and how to get them through the system that makes sense, uses a little bit of common sense, but what we won't do is pretend they didn't commit the crime in the first place.